What's going on, fight fans? It's your host Sebastian, and welcome back to the Boxing Tip. Now, I spent most of yesterday making breakdown and prediction videos for the Showtime card taking place January 28th, this Saturday. So I figured I would make a video talking about the HBO card in its entirety, do something a little bit different. The reason why I'm not going to get too much into detail about breaking these fights down is because I don't feel like it's very necessary. Given the style of all four of these fighters, you can kind of expect some serious action to go down inside of the ring. And that's, to me, there's not a lot to break down there. But nevertheless, it is exciting. I'm anticipating it because I want to see guys get in the ring and fucking duke it out. Don't get me wrong, I love the sweet science, man. I love the technical aspect of boxing just as much, But there are times where I want to see some action. I want to see some blood flying. I want to see punches, fucking non-stop punches going, I want to see a battle of who has the bigger heart in the ring. I want to see a battle of two warriors, like fucking gladiators, go in there and fight to the death. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that favorable of a particular type of fight, you know what I mean? I like all boxing, so I like the action as much as I like the technique, you know what I'm saying? I like the chess match as much as I like the phone booth fights, I don't really favor either one. But I'll go ahead and talk about the fights here a little bit. Takashi Miura, we all know who he is, blood and guts warrior. He goes in there to have a fight. He goes in there to fight with you. He wants to exchange those fucking punches with you. He wants to use his power to knock your head off. He wants to punish his opponent. And I feel that Miguel Roman is going to fall victim to that. I don't see this fight lasting. Miguel Roman, he seems like a very tough, durable opponent for Miura. Sure to make some fireworks once these guys hop in the ring together. Very excited for that fight. To talk about the main event a little bit, Francisco Vargas, once again, we all know who he is, and we really know who he is because of his fight with Takashi Miura back in 2005 on the Canelo Cotto undercard. They had a fight of the year, fucking very exciting, very entertaining fight, a battle of heart, a battle of who can outlast the other guy. You know what I'm saying? Takashi Miura started off strong, knocking Vargas down. Vargas rallies back, eventually gets the stoppage over Miura. It was an excellent fight. His opponent, Miguel Berchelt. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research on this guy, man, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. He is a warrior. He's a very offensive fighter and has beautiful uppercuts. Man, that's one thing I can say about him is he has beautiful uppercuts. Really strong motherfucker in the ring. And looks like he's packing some heat. So I think Francisco Vargas is going to have to be careful, I know this fight is going to go on the inside. I know that these fighters are going to really let those fucking hands fly. But I'm going to urge Francisco Vargas, even though I know that he can withstand a beating. I know he can take punches. He has the heart of a lion. But he really needs to be smart about the way he approaches fighting this guy. Because the guy he's fighting is no joke. He's a strong motherfucker, very tough, very powerful. So once again, there's not a lot to break down here between these two fighters getting in the ring together. It's basically to see who hurts who first. Who's going to be the one who takes more punishment? Who is going to be the one who collapses due to the punishment? Now, Miguel Berchelt, he shows that he does have some good fundamentals and some, decent boxing skill in the ring. And he's a pretty good counterpuncher from what I've seen, especially when he gets into the exchanges. Very good at catching his opponents in between punches, so that's, another really good thing about Miguel Berchelt. That's why I urge Francisco Vargas to be very, not cautious, but just to be weary of what's going down in the middle of those exchanges. Really pick his punches selectively and remain defensively responsible as much as he possibly can, being that two guys are both very offensive fighters. Defense isn't always a priority. Nevertheless, they should try to reduce, the punishment that they take as much as they possibly can. even though they're gonna go to war. So that's about as deep as I can get into this fight. You know what I'm saying? I personally think Francisco Vargas, man, his heart is gonna carry him through this fight. I know Francisco Vargas can box. Even though he does get lured into some pretty nasty exchanges, or into some pretty phone booth style of fights, but he does have some boxing ability. Same with Miguel Berchelt. I've noticed he does have boxing ability. So, for whatever reason, this fight doesn't happen in the phone booth and is at a bit of a range, I would definitely more favor Francisco Vargas at that point. He has very long arms, and he is able to really get his punches off, in a very close range fight, in an inside fight, but he's also to get his punches off at a range as well. So, but if this fight does go into the inside, he's going to have to really be careful with Miguel Berchelt. Like I said, he's packing heat, and he's really sharp with his punches. So, but I am going to favor Francisco Vargas to win this. The two favorites in this fight, I'm going to have to go with them. You know what I'm saying? Because they are battle hardened. They've been in there with some very good fighters and have overcome a lot of obstacles in their career. So, in the ring. So, we'll see if Miguel Berchelt has what it takes to hang with, a quality opponent like Vargas. You know what I'm saying? A champion. There is a lot of what ifs that can happen, in either one of these fights, and that's what really makes it exciting. So, I hope everyone is excited as I am to see this fight. I know that because Showtime and HBO are on the same day, I'm not sure exactly what their airing schedules are, but if for whatever reason these fights happen, are broadcasted at the same time or aired at the same time or within the same time range, I'm going to have to go with the Showtime card. I feel like their fights are a little bit more significant and they're a lot more competitive, but nevertheless, I will be watching this fight that same night regardless. If I have to record it, I'm going to. So, doesn't really matter to me. I know I'm going to end up watching both fights or both cards anyway. But let me know what you guys think, man. I could see a lot of people really going with the favorites in both of these fights, but if you're familiar with any of these fighters or any of Takashi Miura or Francisco Vargas, if you're familiar with their opponents, Miguel Roman and Miguel Berchelt, let me know who you guys think's gonna win. Let me know what you feel each fighter possesses that can really determine the winners of these fights. You know what I'm saying? I know that it's more than likely going to be a phone booth type of fight for both fights, but I mean, who doesn't like that? You know what I'm saying? But if you see something, you think maybe one guy has quality, something that he possesses in his arsenal that he can use against the other guy, let me know what that is. I like the details, even though my video wasn't as detailed as I would have liked it to be. It's just very hard to get detailed into what can potentially be a good old-fashioned scrap. You know what I'm saying? But subscribe to the channel, introduce somebody to boxing, share the video with your boxing homies. That's all I got for you guys on this one. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.